Hello, editor Tiffany here. So I just finished editing episode 2, part 2, and I really hope you enjoyed today's episode. With all that out of the way, I hope you enjoy watching or listening.
Hello, and welcome to their BL podcast. We're your hosts, Tiffany and
Saray.
Swadika. Annyeonghaseyo. Konnichiwa. Ni hao.
Where we welcome all she's, he's, theys, and gays, and we can't wait to talk to you about anything and everything BL.
Korea. We're here in Korea. So I got my first one. I think this is my first Korean BL. It's called Mr. Heart.
Oh, okay. You talked about this before,
Yes.
and like the first, I don't know if it's in the video, but like you talked about it for a little bit.
Mr. Heart it really is, even though it's like such a short BL and like time and episodes, it does what it needs to be, like it needs to.
Mhm. The smaller actor was so cute.
Yeah.
And he's in another BL, but like I loved Mr. Hart was so cute. The two scenes that always stick out to me is the one where they're in his bedroom and he like kind of blows up and is like, because I liked you, because I'm always gonna like you, because I still like you, and then he like kisses him and he's like, oh shoot.
Yes. The fact that he was super comfortable with himself to be like,
when they cuddled,
like you.
Every time they cuddled, I was like, yes, because they just fit so perfectly. When he like jumps into his arms because he accepts him and he's just like, Hyung, and like hugs him. He's so cute.
And you?
My first one is Blooming.
Ooh.
Have you ever seen it?
I've just started watching it.
It's so phenomenal. It is so beautifully shot. I think it might be one of the most beautifully shot Korean BLs out there. And like the music is incredible. The story is so well written. I love the plot. Like two college students, one is really insecure. They're both really insecure, but in such different ways. And like they help comfort each other, like to their core. And it was so beautiful. It was so good. It's my number one. I love it so much. I don't want to spoil it. It is one that like everybody should definitely watch. It's one of those ones that like it's good that everybody needs to watch.
I guess my number 2 is kind of like 1 and 2 to my star. In the first season, their acting is good. Great. Yeah. And then in the second season, it just gets 10 times better.
So much better. And I know like, okay, so I know the guy that got, I can't remember their names off the top of my head, but the chef.
Yes.
He got like a little bit of, not hate, but like, you know how net citizens are and can be like hateful. He got a little bit of comments on his weight gain from first season to the second season, but it literally, they put it like played into it in the show and made like the other guy's character love like nuzzling and kissing his cheeks and like blowing little air bubbles and raspberrying his cheeks, and every time he did it I literally lost myself. I couldn't contain myself. It was so good. They're adorable. They're so cute.
To be honest, I didn't even notice all that much of the weight gain.
Mm-hmm.
I was too busy with the fact, like, I saw the behind the scenes where he was like, were you the last person I kissed? He goes,
yeah, they hadn't kissed anybody.
And I was like, what? Like, you went that long and you literally haven't kissed anyone? They're so good together, and the play off the trauma that the actor had. Just that one scene where the glass is gonna fall, he grabs it because he knows if he hears that sound, he's not gonna be so well.
The chemistry between the characters were so well done. Like you really felt like the first season was phenomenal, and then it was just even more so in the second because you could tell they loved each other so much, and they just didn't know what to do to like get back to the same place they were.
It was just so natural to for him to feel like that, for everyone to feel the way they were feeling, and for everything to happen the way it happened. And
I'm so glad we got our happy ending, though.
I'm so glad for that happy ending.
Oh my god! At the end when they were chasing each other to like throw away the trash, and in the middle of the chasing they stopped to slow dance, and then they go back to chasing each other. I was like, oh my god, stop it! It was so cute.
It's too domestic for me. Too domestic for me.
Yeah, my heart, I couldn't take it.
Your next one. Your number 2.
My number 2 is but it's called Long Time No See. I guess it is kind of old.
Long Time No See.
I think you'd actually like it if you haven't seen it, but it's about two professional killers that don't know that each other are professional killers, and they fall in love, and like they're supposed to kill each other.
I remember the trailer, I didn't realize it was an actual story.
No, they actually have some really good spicy scenes, but they also have some really good emotional scenes because one of the was like an orphan and he was really abused at the orphanage. So a guy that is like heartless adopted him just to be his pet and be his professional kill thing. And so he raised him like that. And so he's really traumatized and he doesn't trust humans anymore. And he this other contract killer and falls in love with him, but that contract killer was like sent to kill him.
Dang.
So like it gets really emotional at the end because they obviously find out and he's like crying and clinging to him and he's like, who am I supposed to trust now?
No.
And like it's literally heartbreaking, but it's so good.
Oh no.
It has a good ending, happy ending, but the journey to get there it's good. It's good. It's my number 2, definitely recommend it.
Is that it for your okay.
Yep.
My number 3, Color Rush.
Oh, so good.
Because it was so different with the pro.
I also really, really appreciated the darker tones.
Yes.
Like the obsession and like the like self-harm and like
I want out of season 3, like I need to know what happened. I wish there was just more of it.
I wish because that was like a really early like Korean BL when they were just starting to get into the genre. I wish that they hadn't have made Color Rush then and it got like made now because with all the same like characters from the first season because it would be like they'd be able to do so much more with it because they were too nervous and too scared to do it before because they just started and they're conservative and stuff. But now they're kind of in it to win it now. They do the genre correctly now. They're full in. And I wish they would do Color Rush now.
It gave you that like, oh, that's why. Like at the end where it was just like revealed, everything was revealed.
The effects were also really good when they did the actual color rushes and like they had the like weird colors like coming at you. They did a really good job. And when everything like was dark, like black and white and bursts into color, they did really good.
Yeah, so oh my god, have you seen they did this thing. I don't know if Color Rush did it themselves or a fan that did it, where they had a black and white like picture and you would stare at this like image and then you would look up at the picture and the picture would be in color, but if once you blinked, it would go away.
That's
and
so cool.
You would know how it felt to be
a mono.
To be a mono, yeah. And it was so interesting because when I tried it out, I felt so affected by the loss of just color. I didn't realize how much color was important until that moment. I guess your number 3?
My number 3 is going to be a quickie because it's To My Star, season 1 and 2.
Yes.
Because I too absolutely love that show. When the second season came out, I was really hesitant to watch it because I got into it late and I had spoilers, and the only spoilers I had was that it was incredibly sad and that they were broken up. But I couldn't help myself because I rewatched the first season so many times. I had to watch it. And then I watched the second season. I waited till it all came out and I binge watched it in its entirety and I was obsessed with it. I was really glad what they did. I know a lot of people didn't like it because it was so angsty, but I liked it. I'm just glad we got a second season in general. And I think it was really realistic to the trauma that each individual had. But then we got our happy ending. So they both healed each other.
Yes. I love the fact that they finally were able to heal together.
Yeah, at the ending scene when he like walked up to him and like clung onto his shirt, and was like, "You said I could come to you if it was difficult." I was like, ah!
Okay, my number 4 was Light on Me.
Okay,
I absolutely loved how the music was arranged, how funny it was, how absolutely amazing the acting was. The camera quality, though, it looks so clear and clean.
I actually really liked. A lot of people didn't like this, but I actually really liked the pace
I did too.
Of the story of him like being in love with like Tay or whatever the popular guy's name is for most of it, and then kind of realizing later on that there was another guy here the whole time that has loved you since the beginning for who you are.
Yeah,
you know, and then it's switching, and then they're together. I really liked that.
I like the fact that it gave them both a chance.
Well, I usually don't like love triangles. I usually like Yeah, for some reason I usually don't. Like I hate having second lead syndrome. And so I usually don't like, and I also like a lot of times at least in Thai BL, it's kind of a toxic third triangle where one person's leading somebody on or leading two people on or wanting to have both people at the same time. So I usually don't like it. But in Light on Me, that wasn't the case. That wasn't happening with this love triangle. So I liked it.
Because it was set in high school, it couldn't be as toxic as like Thai get, because Thai is like college. At this point, everyone's in college. And that's when toxic comes out.
They were also really mature, the way they reacted. Like, they all stayed friends after, even though there was, like, some emotional stuff that happened.
Yes. So, yeah, let's go to your number 4.
My number 4 is Semantic Error.
Yes.
Also a really good one. I read the webtoon. Not really first, but, like, when an episode had been out, I learned that it had been a webtoon first, so I went and read the webtoon, and then I watched it as it came out. And it was really good. And it kind of was a shift for Korean BLs because that one got really, really popular, and both members are Korean idols, and neither of them are ashamed, and nobody really said anything, like, negative about the show because there wasn't anything. So the BL just kind of, like, got accepted, and everybody was okay with it, and nothing, like, negative really happened, and it opened the possibilities for more of that to happen.
My number 5 is Semantic Errors. The fact that they were able to, like, raise Korean BLs to the next level and to win awards at actual, like, festivals, Korean festivals, movie festivals, and get, like, international recognition as well. Like,
it was crazy. And everybody was kind of shocked because everybody was waiting for, like, the Net Citizens to tear it apart because they were both singers. They were both idols, and they were in a BL together. But that never happened. And they got all the recognition and awards, and everyone was so happy, but also so shocked.
Right?
They deserved it. Semantic Error was so good. They didn't have anything to critique about it. And they're still both super proud of it.
Yeah, it was made just the right time, with just the right people, with just the right amount of, like, attention towards it. So, perfect. It's just perfect. I guess you're number 5.
Okay, so my number 5 one is, I feel like, really underlooked, and a lot of people actually don't like it because compared to, like, the other Korean BLs, it's, like, slightly lower quality. But I don't think that doesn't really deter me, and it's called Ocean Likes Me.
Ocean Likes Me.
It has Holland in it. Yeah.
Yes!
He's in it. And it has the guy that he's with is the guy from he's in another Korean BL. Oh, Where Your Eyes Linger.
Yes.
He's the, like, rich son, not the bodyguard. But he's the other main guy, and he's with Holland. Yeah. And I like it because it's, like I said, a lot of people don't like it because it's a little bit lower quality cinematic wise, because they didn't have as much money to shoot it. But it's such a simple, pure love story. And I actually really like that it's slightly lower quality because it's a lot more raw. And I think I said it before, but I like really natural, raw, like, shooting with all natural light, and, like, really maybe not even any makeup or very, very light makeup on the actors. And, like, everything is just, not super production heavy. And that's how this is shot. And Holland is adorable in it because he's, like, a clingy character. I don't know if you've seen it, but he doesn't even know this other character, and he just comes into his life, and he's like, I'm gonna stay here, I'm gonna live with you, I'm gonna work with you, you're not my boyfriend. Like, he just comes in and claims it, and it's so cute. It's such a cute, quaint, fluffy, simple, pure love story. So it is. Yes, I have it on my list.
I think what I remember, the one scene I remember is him talking about, like, was it ramen or whatever he was, like, cooking?
Yeah.
Like, he likes that more than he likes me. Like,
it's like, oh, you like your noodles more than you like me. I guess I'll just wait in our cold bed all by myself.
Yeah. That's the scene that always gets me. Honorable mention, Kissable Lips. Let's be real here. We all know why. Then we have A Shoulder to Cry On, The 8th Sense, Unintentional Love.
Okay, so I have 4. My first one is Cherry Blossoms After Winter. My second one is The 8th Sense. And then my third one is Color Rush Season 1. And then my last one is Light on Me, which you also talked about.
Yes.
What about Korea, like, do you think sets it apart or makes it different or it focuses on?
I feel like what Korea sets differently between everything else is the fact that even if it's like the low end budget, like BL for them, it's still shot amazingly. The songs are amazing.
Mine is also cinematography. I had that down because it's just, they have such a way of shooting things that, like, yeah, like you said, even their like low budget stuff is still really good. And then I also have emotional build up because I feel like Korea's really good at that. I mean, that's what their K dramas are all about. People gush because, like, on the 14th episode, they hold hands. Like, Korea's really good at building up their audience emotionally and getting attached to the characters and attached to the characters' feelings. And they transferred that into BL, and I think they're really good at having an emotional build-up, an emotional, like, attachment to the characters from the audience.
And then we'll just do Taiwan, China, Philippines, and Vietnamese on Saturday.
Yeah. This is actually kind of hard for me. I had a lot for Taiwan, so narrowing it down was difficult.
I narrowed it down as much as I could, but then I think I kind of cheated in a way when I went to narrow down. I'm just like, well, it happened. It's a list.
Mm-hmm.
So do you want to go first today?
Sure. Okay. So my number one for Taiwan was History 3 Make Our Days Count. Yeah. I know it's like so heartbreaking, but like the fact that it's able to make people feel so passionately about it because it was like shot and the storyline and the acting and everything was so perfect. Like, yeah.
I'm still crying because of that till this day.
Yeah, their love felt so real and then it just got stolen. And that like happens sometimes. And that's like, I feel like that's a lot of people's like worst fear is like finding someone that you really love and like planning out spending the rest of your life with them and then one of you dies.
And the fact that like even though someone that looked like his former lover was there and was like, and he did not care at all.
Carried on. Is it Yushigo? That's his name, right? The one that dies.
Oh, Yushi, yeah.
Spoiler alert, anybody. But and he like carries on his dream of like astronomy and seeing the stars and stuff. And then they made a cameo in Love on the Line, seeing the stars together. Yushigo's life was just so tragic, so it's even worse because the second he got like some happiness and accepted the happiness, yeah.
I was like, oh yay! Because at that moment, Make Our Days history in general was always happy endings. Or
yeah, this is like the first and really only not happy ending.
But did you also realize because of their not happy ending, they've been in so many cameos?
Mm-hmm. They should have had like it would have been really cool if they had 2 alternate endings. Like, I'm glad that we got a sad ending because like we get a lot of happy endings, you know, in a lot of like medias and stuff. I feel like it always like ends in a happy ending. So it's nice to get a bad ending every once, not bad, but like sad ending every once in a while. But they could have given us an alternative ending. People would have ate that up too.
Right. My number one, We Best Love 1 and 2.
I loved that show. And in the second season, Mr. Fighting, when they have the one scene where I can't remember his name in the show, but the actor's name is Sam. Mm-hmm. And he's supposed to be drunk and he shows up at the other guy's house. And he really took shots, like 4 shots before they filmed that scene. And they hadn't rehearsed it at all. This was the first take and they shot it in the first take and they were both like actually drunk. And it was that you could tell that scene was so good.
Wasn't like 4 shots of whiskey or something?
Yeah. It was so good.
And I feel like everything was so natural at that moment. And it probably needed to be natural, honestly. But yeah. It's so good. It's so good. Okay.
My second one is We Best Love and Mr. Fighting.
Yeah.
It is really, really good.
Oh my god. What made it number 2 and not number 1? Not number 1.
I think I was like the way emotionally I was impacted after each show was different. Okay. And I had a much more like intense and lingering emotional attachment to Make Our Days Count. Like it stayed with me for really long. Not that We Best Love didn't. I've probably rewatched We Best Love more because Make Our Days Count is so intense that it takes a lot out of me. But because of that, I put it at number 1. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. That's pretty cool. Oh, good. I guess my number 2, I got plus and minus.
Oh my god. Guess what my number 3 is?
Plus and minus?
Yep.
Yeah.
Our
Oh,
lists are pretty similar this time.
oh my god. I didn't realize they were gonna be this similar.
And
Oh,
they're dating in real life.
yes.
It's so sweet. It's so cute, and they're like very public about it. They're always posting couple pictures on Instagram.
You're so cute.
hmm
They give me the feels. I'm just like, oh,
That was a very good story too. I liked the slow, like they were very respectful of each other's emotions. Like they didn't want to push their feelings onto each other, which caused a bit of miscommunication, but they really cared about the other person's feelings. So it was like a really sweet, pure like love story because he loved him for so long, but he didn't think he liked him back, but he just wanted him to be happy even if it wasn't with him.
yes. My number 3,
Uh-huh.
I do.
Beloved in House I Do.
Mhm.
hmm It's so good. The chemistry is so good. The acting is good, not cringy or anything.
Yes. The fact that they made like the whole storyline more, how do you say, not dramatic, but have like, oh, we had like a past love type thing.
Yeah, yeah. He was in love before and like then he got in his accident and kind of was hardened against love.
Oh, and that rule, like you can't. Oh my god, I hated that rule so much.
hmm
Like, why?
It was really nice to see, like, I know that the guy that had the copper allergy had liked the other guy for a while because he saw him handing out flyers.
Mhm.
But I liked seeing the metal worker like slowly develop feelings for the boss guy because he like just little things like making sure his drinks were there, like the drinks that he liked were there, and following all the rules he wanted, and like being careful of the copper, and like he just slowly started caring about the other guy, and even the mom noticed.
Yes, you know what's something funny? I actually, while watching the show, I was like, what food has it, right? So I even looked it up and was like, being like, what can he eat? What can't he eat? And I was like, I
hmm
can't get in this. Like, why am I
hmm
caring so much about this person?
My two favorite scenes from that show is the one where they're like the first time they like snuggle in bed and he like grabs his shirt and they stay like that. And then when the one guy's sleeping on the ground and the other guy goes on the ground and cuddles him and he's like, I just want to know what it's like to sleep on the ground. And then he like grabs his hand and keeps him there. Oh, they were,
Oh, I think the first thing that if someone tells me that, my first thing is when they're first living together, and he's like tied up. He has like that dream, like he's tied up on the
oh,
chair, and I'm just like, oh, this is not no.
I remember when the trailer came out and it had like little clips from all those like little imaginations and everybody was freaking out because they were like, how are they going to fit all of this, all these tropes into one show? But like it ended up being his imagination. So
Yes. Oh man, his imagination was something else. I swear.
my number 4 is Your Name Engraved Herein.
My name.
Have you never seen that? I feel like it's like one of like a super famous. It's on Netflix.
Hold up. Let me look it up because I forget names so much. What's it called again?
Mhm. My Your Name Engraved Herein. It's about like two. It's like an older timepiece. They're back in the past, and two Taiwanese boys are going to the same school. Birdie and something else. I haven't seen it. You definitely have to watch it. It's like one of the more famous like BLs. It's really, really good. It's also very emotional
Oh no,
because of like the
another
time
one.
period it's set in, and the ending is it's one of those ending. I like the ending because it's not a very common ending that we get.
Okay, okay. What is
So
what?
it's really nice to get those kind of endings that you sometimes get but not all the time, and it fits really well, so it was really refreshing. I was not upset, but I was sad, but it was a good ending because it was a different kind of ending, but it is really good. It's shot very, very beautifully and the storytelling is really cute. There's a lot of like I've talked about before, like subtle, like subliminal messages. So
Mhm.
there's a lot of like looking at each other while other people are saying things that could mean, like, if they're saying those things while they're locking eyes with each other, there's like a hidden message trying to be said, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
And like it's one of those where they both know they like each other, and it's so you can like feel the tension because they get so close to each other, but neither one will give in because of the social standards that are at the time. And so then they make stupid decisions that they probably wouldn't have made if they weren't under so much pressure, and it like hurts each other, but they love each other, and it's so good.
Okay. That's another one on my list. Bro, I have so many on my list. There are, yeah. I guess number 4 for me,
Mhm.
I have Innocence.
Okay, that's such a good one.
I I really like the fact that then they don't really play into this also often, like the DAD side of like love, I guess, because it's two
Mhm,
different people technically,
mhm.
I guess. I really enjoyed the fact that we had the cute little squishy side of him, and then we have the oh dang, like I don't want to mess with that one.
Yeah, like the protective one.
It was just
The other guy was also like really caring towards the softer like identity or whatever you want to call it.
mhm.
And
But
it seemed like he genuinely liked both identities, like the tougher one. Because that one time when he was like, "Finally, you're jealous," and like the tough personality was like, "I'm not jealous. I'm not. How can I be jealous of myself?"
I remember that, and I was thinking that too. I was like, "How are you jealous of yourself?" It's literally
Hmm.
um. I think. Do you remember that plant though? That little plant that they had.
Yeah, the like cactus
Yeah.
or yeah.
I was like, that. I don't know why I thought that was the cutest thing because how he's just he just
And he'd always like poke it and like play with it. The
literally
story's so sad though.
it really is.
Like his father just like passed him around and using him to get out of debt when he was a child. Like gross.
Yeah, but I'm just, just so
But he got a happy
got a
ending.
happy ending. He got a happy ending, which I'm very happy for, and the fact that they like he literally took him to like therapy and stuff.
Yeah, I'm so glad they showed that because they don't show that in a lot of things. They just make it seem like getting in a relationship fixed that
Mm,
about them. But like, if you have a mental illness, that doesn't go away just because you get in a relationship. So like, I
mhm.
was really happy that they showed him going to a therapist and getting help and getting medicine and getting diagnosed and everything. That was really healthy, like showing of that
Yes, I that's
representation. That's what I was. That's what I
yeah.
was. That's the word I was looking for.
I guess your number 5.
My number 5 is My Tooth, Your Love.
Oh,
It's so cute and so good. And the fact that the guy that plays the doctor, this is his first BL
really?
that he'd ever been in, yeah. And he'd never really seen anything, like in an interview that I watched, he was talking about it. And he had never really seen any kinds of BL before this, but then he started watching like Thai BLs and Taiwan BLs and stuff. And he
Mm,
said he did a lot of research, and then he figured out like why people liked it, and he tried to implement that in the show. So he's like, I noticed that a lot of people liked when there was like long eye contact, or when like subtle touches on the shoulder, or like when they grabbed each other's faces, or like when they got really close. He's like, I wanted to bring that tension into the show, and he fucking did. He definitely did. It was a great show. They have more kisses outside the show than they do in the show. They both said outside the show that they enjoy kissing each other. So they just do it sometimes.
yeah, I've seen some of those videos on Instagram.
Yeah, they're so comfortable, and like they're such good friends now. And it's so I love that show. It's so good. It was also a really cool storyline. It was more adults, and like it wasn't as basic. I mean, it was a dentist who ended up falling in love with someone who had a phobia of dentists because of prior trauma as a child.
Yes,
And like that's kind of a cool plot.
we got History 3 Trapped. Like, let's be right here. Like, I think that was the first time we had like a mafia or like a
Mhm.
gangster or like BL. I enjoyed the side couple though a lot more.
Yeah, it was cute.
I love the scene where he's like kidnapped in that room.
Mm-hmm.
And
he's like, I'm hungry.
He really took the piss out of that one, and I was like,
Uh-huh.
And then you talked about.
It actually made me sad because, like, in the end, Tanguy went back to prison. Like, not back. He went to prison.
Mm-hmm.
So the other guy was left alone. And he said he would wait for him, but still, that's sad. So my 3 honorable mentions are: number 1, Be Loved in House I Do, which we talked about. Number 2, DNA Says I Love You, which like I kind of brought up earlier because there's an actor that's in it that's in Your Name Engraved Herein. And then my last one is History 2 Obsessed, because that was my first history that I ever watched.
I guess mine too was Because of You.
Okay. Oh.
And then My Teeth, Your Love. So I think that's it for Taiwan, right?
Oh, and then for like the country tropes, you know, I put that I think they're really good at like honing in on intensely cute and passionate relationships, like between the characters, because it can be like they have such like cute couple moments, you know what I mean? Not necessarily cute as in like fluffy, like the characters act cute and stuff, but like moments that couples have that are like couple cute moments because they're like each other, you know? So I feel like Taiwan's really good at having intense, like cute and passionate relationships between their characters.
I think for Taiwan, they also have the availability to like do. I think they're. I don't want to say trendsetters necessarily, but they are a trendsetter in some capacity because like they were the first to have like that did mental illness right, that did like the gangster thing right.
They also have like really good, like pretty Korea Japanese level cinematography.
Yes, that was another
really good camera work and like lighting. Their lighting is always really good.
Mm-hmm. I think they're another one where I feel like their episodes are a little shorter than what most are.
Sometimes they're like 20, 26 minutes.
But I think that's the power that they have to convey the whole story in that short time. Amazing. So yeah, and that's it for Taiwan. Thank you guys for watching today's episode. I hope you guys enjoyed the second part. And for next week, the third part will be out. So yeah, see you then. Goodbye.